Hey everyone, welcome to some left field gap video content. This is something different. Would like to be trying a little bit here, and today going to do some quick hit notes on some reaction to some things as well as possibly a rant at the end. So you definitely probably want to stick around for that because who doesn't like a good rant? But in case you don't know who I am, my name's Nate Palmer, and you know me maybe through a couple different places, but obviously I recently started Left Field Gap, a place where I'm going to be writing about Twins stuff, which Left Field Gap, if you go and read the first post, is a little of an homage to Joe Mauer and what seemed to be such an often hit to the Left Field Gap that we would often see. Also, you may have seen me recently start contributing a little bit at Twins Daily and reading there. If you're a Twins fan and read Twins blogs, it's a good chance that you are at Twins Daily already, but if not, go check it out and see what things are going on there. You may formerly know me as I was at Puckett's Pond, where I wrote and was also editing there for a long time, and a brief stint at Caldwell Pen, both part of the Fansided network, but you may have seen or knew me from those things. So if you followed me over into these different places, thank you, appreciate you, and all the things that is. But if you want to continue to hear, I encourage you just to follow and all these different places, interact with me. That's the reason I do this, is to have conversations about the Twins. My wife does a great job of putting up with me as I talk baseball and interacts as well as she can. But the reason I started writing was just to have conversations and continue to be a nerd in that way, and maybe save her some time. But I'll make a bunch of links for things, but you can follow me on Twitter, follow the Facebook page, all those different good things. Visit Left Field Gap. I'd love to have you reading and following along, and feel free to throw me a message or comment on something. I'd love to interact and talk to you about the Twins. Well, most recently at Twins Daily, I tried to put together a post that would assemble the bullpen, the best for the Twins moving forward. And in that post, I had mentioned two names who just got promoted and are at AAA now, and that's Brusdar Graterol, who we're all talking about, and Jorge Alcala. And I have no idea if I'm saying his last name right. I feel like it's probably pronounced a different way, but we'll roll with that for now. Both have had good showings so far. As of recording this now on Thursday afternoon, both have pitched 2 innings, no runs allowed. Graterol has 3 strikeouts and has hit triple digits, and Alcala has 2 strikeouts. Both pitchers very able of hitting 100 miles per hour. If you read that bullpen piece, one of the things I mentioned was I didn't know if Alcala would be a guy the Twins would promote and would really be maybe potential for the major league pen or rotation for that matter. They're both have been starters for the most part. I thought maybe Duran was a safer bet than Alcala, but here's the thing with him, with Alcala, is he looks like his road as a starter may be done, and bullpen really might be his destination. So maybe the Twins are just getting a jump start on that, as he will need to be 40-man protected for Rule 5 and those good things. So maybe this is the time he makes a switch. He's got a power arm, and if they can figure out how to harness that into the shorter usage of the bullpen, he might be great. So we'll definitely 2 things to keep an eye on. As lots of people have been saying, it looks like we may be in limbo for the next couple of weeks until September hits and rosters expand. These guys may just be at AAA until then, but hey, it's something exciting. Twins are still in the pennant race, and even though we're worried about things, maybe some of us, but and we've got some prospects that are doing good things as well. So good things to be excited about. Speaking of the Major League Twins, and it feels like over the last couple of days the sky is falling. Definitely not great to drop 2 or 3 to the White Sox, but you know you're not going to win every series. And here's the big thing: at last check, the Twins are still 3 games up on the Indians, still in control of the Central, still have lots of games against bad teams. Now we'd like to see things righted and things going, but I guess I will say I'm nervous at times, but what I'm most nervous about is just what's going on with Buxton. And I just feel like he's our linchpin as fans to this team, that once he's back, if he can get back, and be the Buxton we know. That's going to be the important thing. Everything from his improved defense and center, which we know shifts everyone around, to his improved bat in the lineup, although it seems Cave may at times be coming around again, because really that's Cave's thing is if he can hit and provide mediocre defense at least, he can be a decent kind of fourth outfielder for the club or this replacement outfielder from AAA. But the other thing is when it comes to pitching, Buxton can just cover up so much that no matter what our staff is. Now, he's got to stay healthy, right? That's been the thing. So we will see what happens with Buxton. I'm not ready to be too worried. But as we are having these conversations, one of the big things that has been coming up, and it was blown up, it seems like, on Twitter yesterday, and I know I threw my 2 cents in a few places. So if you follow me on Twitter, you may have already seen this. If not, I just wanted to address it real quick because this has been, not just this year, but in previous years, one of my pet peeves about conversations when we start talking about front offices and should we be holding front offices accountable for their actions. And so here it is. The conversation that's been going on is the Twins should have and needed, specifically the front office, to go get a starting pitcher. I think we all agree with that. We all know the Twins could very much use an improved starter in the rotation, someone to bump one of those guys, whether it's Perez or whoever, name who you want bumped out, but to bump someone out, maybe bump them in a bullpen role, that could have been used. It could have been needed. The issue I have with holding the front office totally accountable for this is it just seemed like the market did not come out the way we thought it was. It was far from a seller's market. From a buyer's market. People just weren't selling in the way that we thought they would. And so it just seemed there weren't the offers on the table. And the one person who's been mentioned that I haven't heard a lot about, maybe Mike Minor, if that was someone you really wanted. But quickly as things went, the options ran out for someone who's truly going to boost the rotation. I'm sure there's a starter out there the Twins could have added and could have done something, but it wasn't probably someone we really wanted. That was really going to improve the rotation too much. You think of Bumgarner was one that everyone was kind of looking at, raving about, but the Giants jumped back in, so that was off the table. Greinke probably was never coming here. He ended up going to the Astros. We know how that story went. Stroman ended up going to the Mets, and I've heard people say that we need to hold the Twins accountable, their front office accountable, for not pursuing Stroman harder and calling and being aggressive with the Blue Jays. But here's the thing. It seems like across baseball, everyone thought it was nuts that the Blue Jays made this move. When they made it, they pulled the trigger too soon. So the Twins, their front office, I'm assuming, was in a place that was saying we are expecting a phone call back. And really, probably could say that a smart front office, when there's time still to negotiate, would be calling other teams interested to either drive up the price or see if the price is better. Now, maybe the Blue Jays just liked what the Mets had better. Maybe that's just the end of the story. Even if people across baseball thought the Twins' prospects were better, maybe there's something specific that the Blue Jays saw in those guys, and so that's what they wanted. And if that's the case, I don't know if there's much else that could be done. I personally don't know if for Stroman I'm giving up Kirilloff or Lewis. If we're talking, and Stroman was probably the guy I think that I wanted out of all of them. Now, if we're talking Stroman and healthy Giles, all right, then maybe I'd be willing to do Kirilloff, Lewis. I'd probably be willing to do Gratterall in there even. But that's a different conversation. For Stroman alone, I'm not doing Lewis or Kirilloff. And then the Mets and Thor, Noah Syndergaard, the conversations there, starting with Buxton as the main piece, and so Buxton plus in a package, that's just crazy. That's not happening. So it just doesn't seem like there's much else that could have happened. I don't see what else the front office could have done. I think they did very well to get Romo and Dyson, and things went really well. So that basically my thought with this, and my pet peeve about some of this is this happens anytime there's a trade situation, kind of a trade period when there's free agent signings. is we will complain the front office needed to do more, the front office needed to do X. But the problem is these are always two-way streets. You need another team to want to trade with you. You need a player to want to sign with you. And sometimes those things just aren't on the table. And yeah, the Twins need to do the best they can to pursue. And I think they're doing that right now. There's a winning club and a winning culture that's starting to develop. You see the things that are happening. So as we move forward, things are only going to continue to get better, I believe, in that. Now, you can call me a homer if you want. But I do just objectively believe that if there's not someone there that's willing to deal someone to you, or there's just not the players available to be dealt to you, we can only hold the front office accountable so far. They traded for sure in Dyson before the deadline what it looked like, and he's starting to look better now. The best reliever that was traded, with arguably maybe next to Shane Green, who's had his own issues as the Braves bullpen continues to have some of its issues. But Romo is right in there with some of the best, and he's done very well for the Twins. So I think at the same time, this was a much different deadline than we saw on the last one last summer. So things to be excited about. I think it's only going to get better moving forward. You think we get into the winter, and the Twins are going to be able to be at the table having conversations with teams again, whether it's free agents or trades. They have all of the ammo in place yet. The places they traded from were in that kind of middle group of prospects and in a position group, especially kind of that corner outfield, first base, hit first type players that they have plenty of up and down the system. So now going into the winter, they still have those top 10 that if any of those are guys they want to trade for a certain player, they've got them available. So let me know what you think. If you are against me and you think the front office needs to have their feet held to the fire more, I'd love to hear that. Love to continue our conversations. I'm in a different camp with that, and I keep seeing it go around. So I thought this would be a good way for me just to kind of put those thoughts out in word. So appreciate anything that you do as far as following, commenting, having conversations with me. If you'd love to share this with people, I'd appreciate that as well. But thanks for listening. Thanks for reading. Look forward to hearing from you on the other side. Thanks.